Hi everyone, welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapist. So I'm inside today because, as my grandmother would say, it's blowing a gale out there. Okay, so I'm going to start today's video with a line from a poem that I wrote last year called Hold the Light. It just came to me as I was contemplating making a video. So the line I want to share is, hold the light, in the deepest, darkest night. When you don't know what to do, remember God will see you through. Now, I know lots of us on here have been going through a dark soul of the night, or, we've been going through initiation, shall we say, the last few years, haven't we? I mean, I think anybody incarnated on Earth since 2020 has had an initiation of one sort or another. And life's changed inconceivably, hasn't it, really, for most of us. But I guess the message that I'm saying is, we have got to trust in the divine, haven't we? We have got to trust that all is well and that we will be where we need to be at the right place at the right time. I've got no doubts about this, because I know that, with the help from our Earth Star chakra, that will always be the case, that we will always be in the right place at the right time, and the right opportunities will come up when the divine timing is there. So, if you're feeling like a case of, where's my life going? What's happening? I don't know what to do. It's a case, in my mind, of trusting in the divine, but also you've got to do your bit, It's like, for example, I once had a friend and she was desperate to get a partner, but this is before internet dating and all of that. She was desperate to get a partner, but she didn't do anything. She just stayed in a house all the time. And she worked with 4 other women. It was a very small place we worked. And I actually said to her, you want a partner, but all you do is stay at home. I said, do you really expect somebody to knock on your door and say, hi, do you want to date me? I said, it doesn't work like that. You've got to meet it halfway. And back then it's when people used to join clubs, or, join a social event, or at least say yes to a few social nights out. But the point I'm making here is, we have got to trust in divine timing, of course, because it's all about divine timing. But we have to meet it halfway. We can't sit on our laurels expecting a chap to knock on our door and ask us out, so to speak, metaphorically. What we've got to do is kind of do our part. So you're sending the signals to the universe. Yes, I am ready for this change. Yes, I am in alignment for this change, and this is what I'm doing. So that's just a little, I feel inspired to share that. And as well, quite often I talk about meditation, don't I? Setting aside 5 or 10 minutes a day just to mindfully put your focus on the breath, mindfully connect to your higher self and the higher parts of life. Now, there's a couple of aspects for this. One, you will lower your blood pressure, you will quieten your external self, your left brain. But also, by doing this, you're showing a commitment to spirit, aren't you? If you're prepared to sit in the quiet for 10 minutes a day and put your focus attention on your breath and your higher self, then you are actually saying, I'm showing up for this, I'm dedicated, I'm ready, here I am. So they're just a couple of little tips in terms of, how do we get what we want? How do we manifest what we want? Yes, of course, we have to wait for divine timing, but we've got to do our bit before as well, haven't we? So that's just on that. Now, I actually popped in to see Rachel Russell at the weekend, and she lives near the seaside. So we met her local Stand in the Park group, and it was really lovely to meet them. Now, what happened is, when you go to the seaside, you have fish and chips, and you walk around the gift shops and you have ice cream, yum, yum, yum. I was walking around some gift shops that I wouldn't necessarily normally do, but, I like to engage in the British traditions. So walking around the tack shops, as we call them, and what I noticed was this bag. Now, the bag had it printed on, it was like a tote bag, and the bag had it printed on like the Ouija board symbols. And I had to take a second look because I thought, goodness gracious, you know, they're making it to be like, oh, let's have snakes and ladders on one bag and it's all a bit of a game. Let's have a chessboard on another bag. Oh, and let's put a Ouija board on another one. And they're grouping it into this kind of game, light-hearted game. Now, I've been saying this for years because many of you know that I've got a background in the Spiritualist Church. That's where I attended the Sunday school when I was a little girl, and I'm very grateful for that. So I've been kind of aware of this communication with spirit all my life. It's always been sort of like a natural part. Now, what I find really concerning is the trivializing a Ouija board. Now, what Ouija boards do is open a portal to the lower fourth dimensions. So basically, if you engage in Ouija boards, you are saying, come on in to anything and anyone. Now, to find it trivialized on a game, I find it's awful and concerning. But I personally think Ouija boards are to be avoided at any cost for anybody. I think they're dangerous tools. I think they open up portals to the lower fourth dimensions where you get all the nasties. And it's a serious business, folks. You know, I do a lot of energy work, like undoing spells and attachments and entity attachments and all of that. And, you know, and also haunted house stuff. I do clearing in haunted houses and stuff. But quite often these are where people have thought that they are playing a game, you know, bearing in mind it's put in the category of snakes and ladders and drafts or chess. But they're opening a portal to the demonics. And a lot of the work I've done has been undoing these spells and attachments, doing the clearing, sending the demonics to where they need to go. So really, this is a bit of a warning to, you know, I remember when my boys were sort of getting into that teenage years, I actually said to them, whatever you do, don't play around with a Ouija board. And they knew that, you know, I don't sweat the little stuff, but they took heed of this warning because most people just do not know what they are dealing with. So please, folks, tell your youngsters, if they see anywhere on a tote bag or whatever, a Ouija board, and it all seems like a good fun thing, please warn them of the dangers of it. But then, of course, I realise this is going to be a agenda by the dark forces because they want everybody opening up. They want gateways in to harvest, loosh and cause havoc. And that's the perfect gateway into harvest, loosh and cause havoc. So I just thought I'd share that today with you because it really did trigger me seeing this sort of Ouija board printed on a tote bag, trivialised and made to look like a game when actually it's a very, very dangerous thing. And tell your youngsters and avoid them at all costs. That's all I'm saying, unless you've got a high vibe shaman or healer, or not just healer, I mean somebody who totally knows what they're doing. Just avoid them, but avoid them anyway because they're just bad news, chaps. Get the word out and sending you lots of love. I've had a rant, haven't I, today, but I feel very passionate about it. So, you know, self-care, take care. Lots of love, everyone.